The battle droid army has recently overrun a small city on the planet of Naboo. They've fortified their defenses to be strong enough to repel any type of clone army attack, with a final stand moat fortress being the ultimate obstacle at the end of their defense. And in today's video, we have to build the largest clone army possible to defeat the droid defenses and wipe them out. We have 10 minutes to assemble this clone trooper army, and it will be diabolical. If you guys enjoy these types of army building videos, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below other challenges you'd like to see. Either way, let's go ahead and time-lapse the army building.
Real quick, huge thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring this video. They have literally the best deals in gaming. I use it all the time. If you like Star Wars games, Lego Star Wars for $2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9. One of my favorite Star Wars games, Jedi Knight Jedi Academy, $1.70. If you want to play the Star Wars Galaxy at War mod, Men of War Assault Squad 2, $3. Extremely popular games can be up to 99% off. Link in the description below. Thank you to Instant Gaming for sponsoring the channel. Thank you guys for watching. Let's get into the video.
Alright boys, we had exactly 10 minutes. I set up troopers first to make sure we had them down as well as tanks before then doing the waypoints, because if we didn't get the waypoints done in those 10 minutes, then the army wouldn't go anywhere and we'd automatically lose. So I think we did pretty good for the 10 minutes we had, and I think it's going to be a pretty good strategy, mainly focusing our armor over here since that's where the droid armor is more powerful, and then a lot more infantry and infantry carriers over this way where it's going to be a bit of a maze. We'll see how this goes, I guess. Let's go ahead and go in slow-mo because it could be a little bit laggy for the start here. We're also testing out some hover LAATs, which I've never used those before, but I figure when in Naboo, let's give it a try. So they will unload their infantry, as you can see there, and then I believe they will fire after the infantry is clear of their range and unloaded, and they're hovering, so they're have a slight high ground advantage, though I don't think they will move. So I don't know. They'll almost act as artillery, I believe. Either way, Falchion's moving forward, along with some infantry. TX-130s pushing up as well. Droids here actually got out of their defensive beam turrets for some reason. I don't know why they did that, but hey, that's a bonus for us. We also have Cody, Waxer, and Boyle over this way, so that'll be interesting to see them diving into this battle. The tanks are just full yeeting on forward here for the Republic. Massive Falchion explosion striking out right now. My goodness. Okay, what's going on over here with the Tri-Droid? Well, this is the other AAT section over here. We've already got sirens going off for some of the attacking vehicles, meaning their shields are down, so the clones are taking quite a bit of tank damage at the moment. Infantry coming out here and firing their rockets at the Tri-Droid. Some droid rockets trying to clap back, but not managing to impact. ATTE off in the distance, taking a little bit of damage there as well. Oh! Very nice shot from a droid mortarman right there, taking out a clone rocket trooper outright. More shots going into this Tri-Droid. Actually kind of shocking that it is still alive at this point. And now the droid infantry starts to fire, but there goes the Tri-Droid down for the count, exploding in a ball of fire. It is Jover for it. It is not coming Barack from that one. And these clones coming up over the hill are probably going to be in for a little bit of a nasty surprise, as that AAT is going to have a kind of ambush position on them, and all those droids down here will also be clapping them. This guy stayed in his beam turret, so that's good for the droids. They'll also have that going for him. Let's check out the other side of the battlefield over here. We've got mass explosions going on. I think one of the TX-130s actually exploded over here is what happened there, and a massive explosion rocking the rock wall defense right there, taking out a beam turret and a number of droid infantry troopers. AATs still chilling over this way, clapping back against some of the oncoming clone trooper infantry and tanks. Over here, this AAT is still alive somehow, despite Falchions and TXs moving straight down the middle there. I don't know how that's still alive, but hey, I mean, good for it. It could potentially still get some kills, unless it got decrewed. Oh! You know what? It got decrewed. It's actually dead. Okay, that makes a little bit more sense. I was like, it's not firing. It's in like a terrible position. How is this still existing? Oh. Oh. Hold on. I think we just had a bug. What? Not a bug. My cat unplugged my headphones, so the audio cut out for a second there, but it should be working again now. I was like, oh, did we just discover a new Galaxy at War bug where, like, the audio drops out? But no, my cat was just being a little fiend. Little animal. Alright, AAT over this way, exploding in a ball of fire. We also have a down TX over here, so even though it seems like the droids are getting the short end of the stick, and they might be because they're fighting a massive clone army right off the rip here, the droids are also clapping back against the clones quite a bit. A lot of down infantry over here as well. We still do have AATs over here, although they definitely need to kill this Falchion as well as that TX-130, which is on fire, so that means it's very, very close to death. Should just be a couple more shots there. Well, that just kind of exploded randomly. Random combustion happening right there. And what about this droid tank? Is this still alive? No, this one is also technically dead. Okay. Wow. That has been happening a lot on this battlefield. Just random decrewing of these tanks and things like that. We do have quite the infantry push coming in from the clone troopers over this way. Beam turrets still alive for the droids. A few droids also trying to partake in this side of the battlefield. But there goes the beam turret. Look at this thing. Got absolutely chewed up by incoming laser fire right there. The rest of these droids likely to go down very soon. Their AAT over to the side over here, completely dead as well. Those droids did get a good solid number of kills before they died, though. And you have to remember, the rest of this battlefield is only going to get harder for the clones. We have some serious lockdown positions that the droids will be fighting from, including this little courtyard here. I'm curious to see what happens over this way. LAATs did drop off their troops, though a few of them did die, and it looks like they did fire a little bit. Do they have any kills? This one's got 5 kills. This one's got 1, and the one all the way over here has 5 as well. So yes, the low altitude air transport, I believe that's what it stands for, did manage to do a little bit against the droids there, but now they're stuck hovering in the back lines there, so they won't really be contributing much more. ATTEs, though, however, can push forward, and they're so high up, their guns have so much of a height advantage that they should be able to shoot into the Naboo compound here quite a bit and eliminate a number of the droids defending the interior. Quite a number of clone troopers pushing in this way. They've taken some serious losses in doing so. Lord Gonk is right here, brother. Very nice. And we do have some more thermal detonators going off over here from the last stand of those droids. We've got one more droid holding over this way. He is firing away with a legendary E5 rifle, and he's gonna have to run away from an incoming thermal detonator, and he gets shot and dies there. Thermal goes off, exploding the rest of the cover that the clones probably could have used a little bit over here. Probably not too much, though. We do have one more machine gun droid over this way, taking cover right now. He is all alone, probably gonna die pretty quickly here, I would gather. We do have a couple more droids over this way, getting shot up big time. That Falchion tank never ended up dying. Oh, wait, unless it's a different one. It could be a different one. I'm not entirely sure about that. This courtyard over here starting to get involved in the battlefield as some of those clones try to come out of that sort of swampy brush area to the left side, but they managed to strike them down pretty nicely. And then over here will be a gorgeous choke point, I think, for... well, these droids are kind of out exposed in the open. They can get shot pretty easily, but these guys might be able to lock down this area a bit better as the clones round out over here. So that could be good to see. We also do still have a couple of rocket launcher droids over here, so if any tanks come too close, they can shoot them up and hopefully get the kill. But right now, it does seem like the droids are getting the short end of the stick. getting kind of beaten down by the incoming clone trooper army, but you have to remember, this will be a long battle, and the clones have a long ways to go. Many of the clones starting to come for this courtyard area over here, where we still have a large number of droids defending. A couple guys up here, probably going to die relatively easily, but the rest of the guys back here might have a little bit better of a chance. Now, we do still have a bunch of these ATOTs alive, which aren't the greatest tanks. They get stuck very easily. They're fairly immobile. They can't move very well. However, they are one-shot cannons on them. They're that powerful, so they can be serious infantry killers. They're not great against other tanks, but the droids don't really have any tanks left, so that's not a big problem. I'm just curious if they're going to be able to, like, break the wall and get into the compound or anything like that, which would potentially be a death sentence for the droids. But I think most of these bigger walls are strong enough to withstand any tank shots and things like that, and will kind of prevent the tanks from coming on in. These droids over here doing a nice little choke point defense against the 212th Attack Battalion, trying to surge on forward, but getting stopped in their tracks. These droids on this immediate flower bed here probably going to die fairly soon, but at the very least they've done a nice little last stand, and then these guys will have to take over. They do have a light machine gun here, which should be able to tear up some clone troopers, like... Let's watch here. Yeah, see, they start opening up, and in fact, there's rockets behind also firing away and helping out with that. So yeah, that's going to be a tough position to crack. The middle section here, there's like no attack going on here, so that's actually one of the weaker points right now for the droids, but there's barely anyone over here, so that's not too bad. Alright, back to this courtyard here. I'm curious. Okay, so a couple clones have death charged in, but they've been dropped by the droids on the other side. These clone troopers, again, if they attack middle, could flank around the back and bypass that whole choke point area, but that's not really happening at the moment, so not much of a big deal. By the way, I did, some of you guys saw the short I posted, I did visit Disney World with Republic Studs, the Lego YouTuber. He was in town for a video, and we went to Hollywood Studios, had a great time, and we found every Lord Gonk there. It was incredible. Yeah, that was very, very fun. I'd been once before, but didn't. It was like rainy thunderstorm. If you guys don't know, I live just outside of Orlando, and I'd only been to Hollywood Studios once, and the one time we went, it was just downpour, horrible. So this time around, it was a beautiful day. Me and Republic Studs got to really enjoy the entire area. Check out a bunch of Star Wars Easter eggs throughout the park. It was sick. It was a great, great time. So, highly recommend checking it out. It was fantastic. It was fantastic. Either way, these droids here getting absolutely mowed down now as the clones finally make a bit of a breach breakthrough. They took some substantial losses here, though. I would say the clones as a whole might be down to like half force or something along those lines. Still probably enough to make something happen here, but definitely some serious losses have been taken. Oh, there's like a little building here. Apparently we put droids in here too. What the heck? Dude, I've never... No, you know what? I think I have seen this building before. Have I? I can't remember. But the clones are really hell-bent on going in there. And these droids still holding out here, and the clones kind of trickling in that way. Now we do have beam turrets over this way, starting to open up as the clones begin to fully take over this courtyard here. Couple droids trying to repair their circuits a little bit, trying to get back into tip-top fighting shape. Might take a little bit more than that, because I think the second they pop up here, they're probably going to get blasted. Let's go ahead and bump it up to 2 speed here, baby, and see what goes down. This guy's got his pistol out, and yep, there was no point in healing, my dude. You were death sentenced a while back. Oh, there was another droid over there. Also, some very good rocket fire, annihilating some clones. Oh, yeah, wherever those rocket droids are, they are doing nasty business. Holy cow, this minigun could tear it up, though, right now. Potentially. Alright, yeah, she's letting her rip. It's all the way up at that little moat defense up here, where we do have a number of droid snipers and rocket droids and stuff like that firing away at the moment. Why don't we go ahead and do our first time lapse of the video, because we're kind of at a bit of a stationary battle situation now, so let's watch for a little bit here. Okay, it seems like the clones pivoted more so to the left over here. There is a TX trying to get through, but it can't quite squeeze over this way, which is going to hinder it. And then they're going more towards mid, which is definitely the wiser decision. There's weaker droid defenses than the right side over here, so they could make some better gains. The Falchion and ATTE over here also trying to break through, but again, there's so much debris and road blockage, it's really hard for them to, which is just a bonus for the droids. Looks like the clones did finally breach through here after, holy cow, wow, a lot of death. I'm guessing they flanked around here is what it looks like. So now they're going to be able to push through this courtyard area as well. I think enough losses have come through for both sides that we could go into normal speed here and check out the full-blown Monty this way. So it's really going to be the inner moat defense coming up now, and I think as long as it remains a clone infantry assault purely and very few clone vehicles get involved, we could be okay. Alright, we've got a simultaneously attacking Clone Legion from the middle section over there as well as the left over here. The left side getting nice and close to these droids over here and actually striking a few of them down very early. These clones over this way getting shot up pretty good, but they are getting some good supporting fire to those other guys on the other side of the courtyard there. I don't think anyone's attacking from like the far left area over this way, but if they were right now, that would definitely be a beautiful trifecta attack. Oh, they are actually, a few of them, and something exploded into a ball of fire, another TX, so that one finally squeezed through there and then exploded and proceeded to burn a lot of clone troopers alive right there. So kind of not the best, but it is what it is. All the droids inside this area seem alive, except for a few over this way, but that's not too big of a deal. They were hit probably the hardest over here from that clone trooper attack. And then the left side over here is still not really coming to fruition. These clones out this way trying to do a little bit of sniping with their DC-15As. The droids getting some nice shots into them though, and keeping them for the most part still at bay. Wow, this is quite the battle here. I mean, from the very beginning you might think like, oh, the clones got this. They're absolutely shredding the droid army, but now the droids are starting to make a comeback in this little courtyard area where they are getting hit from 3 different sides, but still managing to hold out on every side at the moment. Look at that, more clones attacking down middle, more from the left over there. Yeah, they're kind of hugging in this way, which seemed to have worked at first because it really was kind of a nice little flank attack on some of the droids way up this way, although there's still a few alive, but yeah, that did work quite nicely, but now it's just kind of a choke point, and the droids know you're going to be coming from that way, and they're kind of responding in kind to that. I would set up back here. I know a few clones have tried doing that, and they were probably the most successful clones over this way, instead of all cramming down this way where you're getting hit by rockets, you're getting hit by concentrated laser fire, and you're just getting absolutely shredded over there. More clones actually making very good pushes over this way, and this is probably the biggest clone force over here. They seem to be splitting up between here as well as the far left side over here, though pretty much everyone has died over here that's tried to attack, so I would definitely go more so mid, but also go around a little bit more. Why don't we do a small little time lapse here for a bit? Five minutes later, we are pretty much in the exact same situation here. These clones continuing to just death charge into their deaths. And over here, pretty much same story. These clones having a very, very difficult time pushing through and actually getting anywhere on the battlefield. We did go in slow-mo again just to make the time-lapse smoother so it wouldn't be so freaking laggy, baby. Why don't we go ahead and time-lapse these guys, because then you can see the guys on the right side as well as the left side. But this is looking like an outright droid victory at this point. They're just absolutely dominating the battlefield, and it's no biggie. Actually, you know what? Let's do a more close-up zoom in over here. And actually, this is a pretty good clone attack. Hold on. Hold on. Clones funneling through. Droids are missing their very important rocket shots here. No, don't back up. Don't back up. What are you doing? Dude! Ah, it's such a mistake from the clones. Look at this. The droids are missing like all of their shots and a bunch of clones backed up instead of spreading out. They just need to unclump up, spread out a little bit more, and just do a little bit better that way. Let's go ahead and bump it up to normal speed here. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on. Clones, get out there. They're getting good fire out. They're just not spreading up and spreading out, and they just keep on backing up, which is so idiotic. Yeah, and they're getting wiped again. Once more. The wiping is happening. It's not good. Not good at all. Guys, we need to be better than this. Oh, and that was a knockout right there. Holy cow. Yeah, droid superiority is still on the battlefield. All right, let's go into the time lapse. I think it's over for the clones, honestly. Kind of calling it early, but we'll see. We'll let it play out. Alright, lads, we let it ride, and, oh, there's actually still a lot of clones. I thought it was over. It ain't Jover till it's Jover, baby. Are these guys trapped in here? No. They're not, actually. Like, one guy is, but we can go ahead and just breach the wall. So he can escape whenever he wants. It's really just clone troopers attacking over here now, it seems. There's like a few over this way, but not really many. The vehicles for the clones are completely stuck. So they're not doing anything with those. This is looking more and more like a guaranteed droid victory, but we'll still let it ride. This droid's got no kills. This one's got 14. This guy's got 7. This guy's got 8. Beam turret here has 11 and a vehicle kill. This guy's got none, or sorry, 1, none, 15, 1, 3, none, 43, 27, 23, 1, 17, none, 7, 4, 7, 1, none, 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 29 in a vehicle kill, none, 1, none. Okay. How about these guys? 2, 1, 17 in a vehicle kill, none, 3, and 2. How about this guy? 5. That's insane. That is actually pretty bonkers. Let's just do an overhead and watch and see the last clones die, basically. Alright, boys, I see one more clone, and he's dead. Okay. And there's apparently one over here, and he's dead. The Falchion tried going in and died. And there's really no more clone infantry. There's a little bit over here, and they're all kind of not going forward. So let's try and unstick them. Do one final little death charge here. Element of surprise, because the droids are looking the other way. We'll see if that helps them out, but they should be coming through this doorway here. And even this massive clone trooper army seems to be incapable of taking on this level of droid defense. Oh no! Wait, I forgot to set the clones to fire at them because I double clicked, which makes them charge. Wait, hold on. Just single click and they shouldn't do that anymore. Doesn't matter. They would have lost anyway, but that is my bad. Whoops. Yeah, if you double click, if you didn't know, it's a full scale death charge, so the clones will just yeet in there and not try and fire. If you single click, they do try and fire. It's, you know, kind of helpful in multiplayer, but a little bit sticky situation when you accidentally do it. Either way, that's pretty much it for the clones, dude. They got absolutely destroyed in this battle. Pretty crazy. Very enjoyable in my eyes. If you guys did enjoy, please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.
I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Be sure to click that subscribe button for more content, and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be alerted to whenever I live stream or upload. Thanks so much.